Hey, how you doing? It's Tom Breeze here, and the reason I'm creating this quick video is because I've just been on Facebook and I saw a guy called David ask a question that I thought was really interesting. Basically, David is running some marketing for a wedding service business, a local wedding service business in the US. And the belief is right now that he's looking to get more customers for his clients. And his belief is that in this area, when a couple get engaged, and really he's more majoring on the female right now, but when the bride gets engaged, he believes that in that moment there are two big players in that local area, and as a result the bride just bypasses Google, SEO, doesn't really do much search, just goes straight to these websites. And that might be so, I'm not sure, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But the question he has is like, well, how does he break through that, and how does he start getting in front of his ideal audience and his customers? And I think a lot of people are starting to chime in, and I just wanted to come from a YouTube perspective because I think that there's a few things that happen on YouTube that I think could be really insightful, and hopefully I can share some insights with you, David, if you're watching this video, so you can see how YouTube could be a massive player for you. I'm really talking about YouTube advertising. And also hopefully the insights I share here can be useful for many other types of local businesses, as well as more national and international businesses as well. Obviously, if we just look at Facebook just for a second, because I think it's an obvious one, people can change their status from single to, or it's complicated, or whatever it might be, to engaged. And at that point, you can target people based on that status, and you're going to find that you can target people based on when they've just got engaged. So that's an obvious one. You can start showing ads to those people, because even though they might be looking at those two big websites and those two big brands, doesn't mean that they not going to go ever to Facebook any longer. And so you can still get your message in front of them. Of course, you want to try and match that message to the situation they're in, so try and really meet them in that moment they're in, and give them a video or an image ad or whatever it might be, which is going to really resonate with them and think, hey, yeah, that sounds really good. I didn't really think of that before, maybe. And so they actually want to find out more information from your client, David. So that's one thing I think you should definitely do on Facebook. But I don't necessarily want to focus on Facebook just for a second, because I think Facebook is very, very powerful. Of course it is. But with Facebook, you tend to be advertising to people based on their identity or their demographics, and their personality traits. So like their interests and what they're genuinely interested in over a long period of time, like hobbies, etc., who makes up who they are as an individual. Whereas with YouTube, it works in a very different way altogether. It works based on intent. So it's not necessarily so much identity and personality traits, but with YouTube, it's more intent. And we don't necessarily look at so much the demographics, because we're looking at what are people looking for in that moment, and what can we kind of offer them in that moment that's going to make them think, wow, yeah, I really want to find out about this company now. So let me just map it out for you and hopefully make it really clear on how you can do this. So I know the focus at the moment is on the bride, but let's flip that just for a second and look at both, the bride and the groom, because the story of an engagement and getting engaged starts a lot earlier for the man than it does the female, right? Because the male has to go and think about buying a ring and also how they're going to propose. And then once they do have a successful proposal and they become engaged, at that point you've got male and female, and probably the female stereotypically takes over at that point and has many, many more ideas. And whilst the male is still considered, I'm talking from personal experience now, whilst the male is very much still considered, the female's kind of ideas of what they want are kind of that's what we're trying to build towards, so to speak. I'm being very careful about how I phrase that. Anyway, so map those moments out for both the bride and the groom. Okay, so pre-engagement or pre-proposal, the man will go through two major moments. One is doing his research and finding out what sort of ring he should buy, and maybe even looking at things like the 4 C's of a diamond ring, for example. Those sorts of things that, I know from personal experience, I went to lots of different websites to really learn about what makes a really good engagement ring and what a female's really looking for, what's going to kind of sit nicely on the finger and all that sort of good stuff. So there were a few kind of considerations I had there. I did my research before I went down to the store or anything like that. That's kind of what I did. And then also, I know that I would look online for inspiration as to how to propose in a really romantic way. So same thing here. The male or the relationship pre-proposal is thinking about those two major moments. Okay, tap into that. Get in front of that male beforehand, because I know that whilst I might not be the big decision maker when it comes to ideas for the wedding, he's still going to be heard. He's still going to be listened to, and if he has ideas and he wants to chime in with, hey, look, I don't know if you guys have checked out this particular website, but these guys look like they really know what they're doing. That's going to be a really interesting time to get in front of the male, because they are still very much involved in that relationship and the decision making for the wedding itself. All right, so don't discount the male; they're still in the relationship. Now, also, once we've mapped out those two moments for the male, those big moments, there's going to be many more moments post proposal and pre-wedding that are going to happen. So you've got things like choosing the venue, choosing the flowers, inspiration for a great wedding day, kind of like how to plan a wedding, all the, like, so many search terms around planning a wedding. I mean, people are going to be going to YouTube all the time looking for this sort of information. And yes, they may have even employed the other local companies, but they still want to get inspiration. You can still get your message in front of those people. And obviously there's still other services potentially that you can offer to those people. So have a think about all the processes that happen prior to a wedding day, okay? Everything that comes into it, and all the advice that will be out there as well, because I guarantee you there are going to be so many different moments for both the male, the female, extended family as well, who are all involved in this whole wedding planning, where they're going to YouTube looking for information about something they need to know, something they need to do, something they want to buy, so like reviews, etc. There's going to be so many videos out there and people looking for a device. And so when they're looking at those videos and looking for information on how to kind of create the perfect wedding and all those moments that happen all the way through that whole process, guess what? You can get your video ads in front of those people every single time, and you're advertising to them when they're looking for that information. So map out all those different times, all those different moments. Think about what message that's going to really resonate with them, and go and create that. Message straight away, and use it as an ad. And obviously kind of give good content and give good value, and then have a good call to action at the end of it. But use those videos on places like YouTube according to people's search terms, so that their keywords, etc. But also target, like with pre-roll ads or in-stream ads, target other videos that are out there already, and say, look, I want to advertise in front of that video. I want my pre-roll ad to show before that video that's about how to create the perfect wedding day, how to buy the perfect dress, how to choose the perfect venue. Anything like that. There's going to be so many videos on that stuff, and you can get your videos in front of that market in a local area, and you should be able to really break through, because I guarantee you the other companies aren't yet using YouTube ads. Well, I can pretty much guarantee it, because I know that very few people are using YouTube. I think it's like 9 out of 10 times when people are searching for stuff, brands don't appear. So YouTube is this like open marketplace, and as small businesses, we should be able to absolutely crush it and get in front of our audience very easily indeed. Alrighty, hopefully that has been useful, and hopefully that's been very helpful for you, David, as well. Let me know what you think, and also if you have any comments or any questions, leave them below, and I'll make sure I get back to you very soon. Cheers, see you in a bit.